Rian, what did you like?
All of them.
You liked all of them. Which was your favourite though?
The floppy one.
Floppy one, the one with Floppy in. Who did you read to?
Mummy. Slow down, said Mum. I don't know, Biff is in the tent. Tent is going to fall down. The washing line is tangled round Biff, round Kipper and pants.
That's funny, isn't it? That's funny.
Let me look.
Oh yeah, we can see. Yeah.
His big brother Chip, Dad is knocking on the window.
What's that saying?
Get inside.
Do you think so?
No, stop it, Sam. Stop. He's knocked Chip's paint over and knocked the vegetables, the bread and the fruit. They've made a traplet. I got that one. Lollipop man, lollipop lady. That's it. That's it.
Well done, you read that really nicely. Can you remember what it was called? What was the title? Can you remember?
Mum, Dad, Kipper and Chip.
It was about them. It was called Look Out. Why was it called Look Out?
Because it was going too fast on his bike. To left.
Because look, the ink spilled all over. Rian's turn to turn over his house. Can you remember that one? Lovely. And the very last one from Corey. What's that one, Corey? Oh, I like the way you're doing that with your arm, Corey. Ooh. Let's see if we can find the picture that it belongs to. Which does it match? Good boy. Can you remember the sound it makes? Fantastic. Good boy. Well done. Oh, another. Good boy. Straight away you knew that. Well done. It's the
On the tail.
The bones in the sand just had a letter shape on them.
So to see if he knew the letter shape on its own.
Absolutely. The sound it made without any cues and any prompts from anything else. What quickly became obvious was that Rian could identify all of the 8 letters.
He did it really well.
He did it very, very quickly. He didn't rely on the pictures at all for any of them. So it became obvious that for him, even though some of the letters had only been introduced very, very recently, he'd taken that on board, he'd consolidated his learning, and he was identifying the letter sound just from the letter shape. So really, there was no learning as such going on today.
It was consolidation.
It absolutely was a consolidation. And then, because we had this recorded, a really great way of us having that confirmation that he definitely knew all those sounds.
And also for me, it showed the learning from last week when there were 2 letter sounds that he wasn't so good at. He didn't know consistently last week, and he does now.
So that's really informative for us then for our planning for next week.
It is, and to know that I think we can safely give him phonic readers.
Yes.
And we can send him home with those, and hopefully at home they'll do a video diary too.
Yes.
And they'll experience this as well.
How lovely.
I'm just watching the footage of Rian reading with some friends, and I'm interested in how much of a difference it makes for him to take a lead role and to interpret his own learning for somebody else. And I'm particularly interested in how that's useful to learning for children, but adults as well, and that seems to me relevant to the whole project. That for Rian to explain to his peers what he understands about reading helps him to articulate it for himself. He models the processes, and in doing so he registers in his own mind what strategies are successful, and his self-esteem is boosted by being able to do so for the entertainment of his friends, and they're clearly very engaged with what he's doing for them. And it's a very enjoyable sequence of film to watch. I'm enjoying watching the teachers talking about what's happening in this project as well, and I think exactly the same thing is happening, that because we are all articulating what we think, we're learning a huge amount just from that process, and I think that's a very, very important form of continuing professional learning or development, the chance to share it with somebody else.
G, O, T. No, G.
It's a J. Og.
Jog. Jog. Jog.
Jog. Well done. You've done those ones. What about these ones?
Pan.
Well done.
I've done me, o, t. Me, not mo. Me, o, t. Mop.
Well done. It's that same sound again. It says J. J.
J, O, G.
Nearly. J.
O,
Og.
G.
What does it say?
Jug.
Jug. Good
Yeah.
boy. Well done. Wow.
My mummy said I think she's gone hunting. So they all went on a lunch. What is it? A big one for Sarah, a big one for Kirsty, a little bit of Ivy for Bill.
Fantastic.
The interactive whiteboard activity where he was segmenting and blending sounds for CVC words was really interesting because he was very confident, and towards the end I had included sounds that had been introduced really very recently to him, so they weren't as well rehearsed and practiced. And interestingly enough, when he came to the page with dog on it, he actually initially sounded it out g-o-d, and then realised that was wrong and looked to me for support. I did pause for a while, but he really did want my input, so I actually segmented that word for him, and then he repeated it after me. The very next page was dig, so only the vowel in the middle was different, but he'd obviously taken on board absolutely what I'd said to him on the previous page with dog, and he sounded that out absolutely perfectly, no hesitation, completely correctly, which is why Rian is making such rapid progress at the moment, because he's thoroughly enjoying it, apparently, and he's listening really carefully and taking it on board, so long may it continue.
Excellent. One of the good things that we saw this week was Rian being the teacher. He'd actually chosen to do this activity by himself, and he'd taken on the role of holding up the sound cards like I do, and he had the children on the carpet, his friends, and they were saying the sounds, and he was holding them up, and he was teaching them. If they didn't know the sound, he was telling them. So he's showing us now that he's quite proficient. He looks at the letters, he knows the sounds. In another activity, he was making words, CVC words, with the phonics cubes, and he was very, very good, very confident at doing this. In fact, he just wanted to move on from that activity. So that's telling us again now he's almost moved on from that stage too. That's all going to help with his reading and with his writing as well. Something else that's been really important is the reading that takes place in school with his peers. Sometimes it's with children who are older, sometimes it's with children in the same class, and to me this is really an essential part, because if he doesn't enjoy reading, then that makes everything much more difficult.
Now,
look at me.
Fantastic. Look at me. See if you can point, remember this time.
Look at me.
Brilliant. It says it's written by Trevor Hudson. Okay, pointing.
Look at me. I am a mouse.
Fantastic. What told you that was going to say mouse? What helped you?
There's a M.
There's a M. And what else did you look at? I saw your eyes moving. You looked at the photograph of the mouse and a picture.
Look at me. I am a frog.
Well done. You pointed really well at those words. Look at me. I am a frog.
Floppy feet. Floppy feet.
Flippers.
Flippers.
Flippers. It's a funny word. Okay.
Look at me. I am a rabbit.
A rabbit. I like his teeth. And his ears. And his whiskers.
Look at me, I am a chicken.
That's
chicken,
a really funny one, isn't it?
Yeah, chicken. Mum, Chip, Biff and Floppy were watching